Hey everybody, it's me, Bradley, or better known as TPG, and it is October 2nd, 2017, and the second day of Vlogtober. This vlog I'm going to do for you is one that a couple people wrote me and it's like, are you going to do this vlog? You going to do this vlog? Because I said I was going to do it first thing Sunday, but I was just so tired I wanted to wait and kind of be able, when I was a little more coherent, to be able to sit down and talk about it. But this is the vlog about what happened Friday night when I went to see the screening of Something Like Summer in Atlanta, Georgia on Friday night. We got to Atlanta and got a nice hotel and everything, and I know a lot of people know that because I live streamed and everything. So we decided to leave for the theater a little early because we didn't really know how traffic was going to be or how long it was going to be at the theater or whatever. So we got there, we got to the theater, and it took a pretty good ways in traffic to get to the theater. We checked in, and we had plenty of time. The movie wasn't until 9:15, so we're like, well, gosh, we got time to get something to eat. We haven't ate yet. And and the movie was like in a little shopping plaza thing, so there was plenty of places to eat. So we were like, well, we're going to go over here and get something to eat. So we walk into the theater. And, of course, I'm wearing my shirt that Simply Beautiful on a Budget had gotten for me, my Something Like Summer shirt. And as soon as we open the door and walk in, I notice two of the actors there, Grant Davis and Ben Bauer. And they're sitting at a table with Carlos Parenze, who is the producer and screenwriter of Something Like Summer. And we're sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God, that's them, that's them. So we go on over, and I'm doing a live feed, and I'm talking, and I'm talking to these two people sitting beside me that keep talking to us, and blah, blah. And we're just talking, and I'm doing a live feed, and in the video I'm getting more and more nervous because I really wanted to go over and say something to them. But I didn't want to bother them because I didn't want them to, I know how it is when you're trying to eat, people come talk to you and everything. And everybody kept encouraging me, go over and talk to him, go over and talk to him, go over and talk to him. So I finally asked the waitress to go over and ask the two guys if I could come over there whenever they were done eating. And they were like, she came back and she was like, yeah, they said, sure, that's what they're here for. Come on over. So when they were done eating, she let me know, and I walked over there, and I was really nervous. And basically, I went up to them, and I tapped one of them on the shoulder, which was Grant Davis, who plays Benjamin in the movie. And he said, hello, and I said, hi, my name is Bradley, and I said, I just wanted to introduce myself and tell you how much I love this movie, how much this movie means to me. I said, when my brother was dying, I read this book over and over again, and these characters were so real. They helped me through so much, and they inspired me to do so much of recovering, and the losses that Ben deals with and the characters deal with all throughout this book really helped me in a lot of ways. He was like, wow, that's awesome. So he saw my shirt, and he made a joke about my shirt to the guy sitting beside him, whose real name is Ben Bauer, and about that being, his rival or whatever, and he's like, don't worry about it, and I was like, made a joke back. And then the guy, Carlos, he said, are you Bradley so-and-so? And I said, yes, I am. And I was kind of shocked, like, how's he know my last name? He's like, oh yeah, I know you, yeah, you've been talking to us on the website and stuff. I'm like, yes, sir. So that was pretty brief. We talked for a few minutes, and I asked them both if they would mind if I took a picture with them after the movie and got their autograph, and they said, no, not at all, come talk to us or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was so nervous, I went outside, and I literally just started crying. I was pouring down tears because I have followed this movie, guys, since the day it was announced that this movie was going to be made. This book has been such an inspiration in my life, and I believe in a lot of ways that this book is one of the reasons that I was able to come out of my dark place that I was in when my brother died and go to the top. The struggles that these characters go through and all just really inspired me. So seeing the two of the guys that brought some of these characters to life just really moved me so much. So if you see my live stream, it's like I'm blubbering. So I composed myself, and I went back, and we're talking, and I go in, the movie starts, and they come out. Well, first before the movie started, they did a thing, and the movie starts, and my heart just was like, and the movie starts, and I'm going to do a review of the movie separately, so don't worry about that. But the movie started, and I'm watching the movie, and it was amazing. The movie was, it was crazy, and my heart's just beating and beating and beating. So when it ended, they came down, and they were doing a question and answer. People were asking them questions and stuff, and I'm listening to everything. And well, let me back up a second. Whenever I went to leave after the movie was over, I had to go to the restroom so bad, and I was crying because the movie just really moved me to tears. I was like, oh my God, I finally got to see this film I've been waiting so long to see. Oh my gosh, And as I'm leaving to go out, they're coming in, and one of them said, oh, Bradley. I was like, I'm sorry. And so which I thought was cute. And then afterwards, they did the question and answer, and I went down front, and I was like, can I get your autograph? And Grant Davis said, yeah, I'm going to write more than just an autograph, though. I want to write something to you. And I said, okay. So I handed him my notebook, and he started writing, and I'm talking to him for a few minutes. And so we get into a conversation after he's done writing for me about Davi Santos, who plays Tim, and how much I wasn't sure if I was going to like Davi Santos as Tim or not, because Tim is my favorite character in the book. And of course, by my shirt, he knew this, my Tim shirt, Team Tim. And I told him how impressed I was and how brilliant Davi was and all this kind of stuff by playing this role. And we kind of had a little conversation about that. And then they kind of ushered us to the lobby because they were trying to clean the theater and everything. So went out lobby and they came out, and I'm still I'm just like in tears. And so Ben Bauer comes out, and he says, "Hey guy," and he starts talking to me, and I said, "We signed this." And so he's like, "Yeah," and he leans against the one, and he starts writing this message to me, which I'm going to read both of them to you, as well as enclose some photos. Actually, I'll try to do that right here. I'll put in a photo of me with Ben and Ben Bauer and Grant Davis. I'll put that in about right here. If I can't get it to work right, I'll definitely put it in at the end, but I'll put it in. So anyway, they signed my autograph. When we start talking, and I'm just telling them about my story, and they're so into it, and they're talking to me, and they're just like, "Oh my God, we love that you love the story." So Grant says to me, he says, when people come to see this show, this movie, and they wear the shirt and they just really love this story, it just makes us feel good. It makes everything that we worked hard, all the sacrifice, everything we made, so worthwhile and everything. And he's like, "Thank you so much for loving this film and loving these characters, and just really loving them." And I said, "Hey, this has been one of the greatest moments of my life. This is like a dream come true for me." And they were like, "Wow." And so they were both, just really impressed by it. And they were like, we talked a few minutes about different things that we liked in the movie and things like that. And I just said, "Guys, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being so kind, for one." And they're like, "Oh, no problem, man. No problem. We love to meet people who love this story." And I don't know if they ever met anybody that was just on the verge of tears. And I finally said, "I'm so sorry that I'm so emotional." I said, "But this book is so much to me, and it really saved my life in a lot of ways." And Grant just kind of put his arm on me, and he said, "Thank you for loving it so much." And then I said, "Can I get a picture?" And they're like, "Of course you can." And so I took the picture, and it was nice. And then we talked to him for a minute. And then I said, "Well, I'm gonna leave you guys alone. I've kind of talked to you guys long enough and stalked y'all." And they're like, "Hey, no problem, man. Whatever." And I said bye to them both, and I left. And I got outside, and I realized that I hadn't spoken to Carlos yet, who is the writer and producer, someone who I have talked to for a while. Matter of fact, they had a 24-hour marathon for this movie to raise money, and I actually stayed in the chat room and stayed up for 24 hours in the chat room to help listen to the broadcast and all that they were doing to raise money for this chat. And I've been communicating with them back and forth forever about this film. So I guess I'm pretty known. So I went back to my hotel, and I wrote a letter to Carlos and apologized for not getting to meet him or whatever, and that was pretty cool. And then I wrote a letter to Grant Davis and to Ben Bauer and thanked them both for for being so kind and everything on Facebook. Well, the next morning I woke up to a reply from Grant Davis, and he said, "Bradley, it was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for loving this film, blah, blah, blah." And matter of fact, let me see if I can find his actual reply, and I'll read it to you. But no, you know what? That's kind of personal. It's kind of personal. But he just wrote a really nice reply back about everything. And he wrote a really nice reply back, and just about how, how I was such a wonderful fan of the movie, and he reiterated how it was worthwhile and things like that. And I had told him that I was going to do a review of the film, and he said to try to stick it on the page for the film, and that it would get to him, and he would love to see it. And he'd also told me that at the theater, that he would love to see my review, and try to find a way to get it to him. So I then received a letter back from the producer, Carlos, and I have such a hard time saying his last name, but he's also the screenwriter. But he wrote me back and said that he realized who I was from the chat, that my name sounded so familiar, and he said, that this was being a dream come true was such a great thing to hear, him being a filmmaker and all that stuff. He recognized me from the chat room. He said to send my YouTube video to him when I was done, and he would put it on the webpage and get it out there and get people to see it and everything, and people would see it and everything. So I was very excited about that, and I've kept in touch, and wrote him all back and thanked him. But this was such an amazing night for me. It was so surreal. It was everything I wanted it to be. Actually, it was a lot more than I expected it to be. But let me read you these autographs, because these I do want to read out loud. This one says, "Bradley, thank you so much for coming out tonight. It was so wonderful to meet you. I'm so glad the story made an impact on your life, and I got to be a part of the story. You're incredible. Always, Ben Bauer." And that's from Ben Bauer there. He wrote that for me. So, just so you know. And then the other one says, Bradley, thank you so kindly for being such a wonderful fan of our piece, Grant Davis. And that's from Grant Davis there. See him up close, and I'll show Ben's again. That's them. So it was very kind, and it was very moving, it was very emotional. I was so overwhelmed, and I'm a little more calm now. But I was just, oh my gosh, it was such a great night. And I would like to thank Ben and Grant for being so kind, and Carlos, and I'm sad I didn't get to go and see him. And he's like, in his message last night, he's like, well, you could have came over to the other restaurant we were at. And I said, oh no, I've been with, I didn't want y'all to think I was stalking. And he's like, no, you're a longtime supporter, we would love to have talked to you. But it was y'all, an amazing night, and I'm so moved that I got to spend that time with them. I will never forget that moment. And every time I see that film, I will always have this memory of it. I didn't expect more than probably them doing a question answer and standing outside and everybody walking up and taking quick pictures with them and moving on. I didn't really figure that they would be so personable from the restaurant even into the theater. I never expected that they would be that personable and that they would really just be great guys like they were. So again, thanks to them, and thanks to just everybody that was involved in it, the people that were in my live feeds, to Simply Beautiful for the shirt, to everybody, just, oh my gosh, it was such a great night. And it was so much more than I ever expected. So that's what happened that night, Friday night in Atlanta. You can watch more if you watch my live feeds. There's some more of it along the way. But anyway, love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Remember, hating is a disease, and some people need to get well soon. Take care. All right. Bye.